Hello friends and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick and today we're going to be checking out Volgarr The Viking by Crazy Viking Studios. This is a game that's coming out on Steam very soon and you can actually pre-order right now. It's an action platformer with probably one of the most hardcore bends to it that I've seen in a very long time. It harkens back to the old Ghosts and Goblins days where, you know, taking a couple of hits is all you can do, and you have to be extremely careful about your progression, how you make every single move that you're going to make, and it's a game that I think is quite fantastic, and I've been missing this style of gameplay for quite a while. So before we get started, though, let us take a look through the options menu as I often do. There's our controls menu, there's even an advanced controls menu, and it actually comes pre-configured for Xbox 360 controllers, so no issues there. Graphics, we've got a full screen bilinear filtering, which I have turned off because I like the chunkier look of it, the more classic, you know, crispy, pixelated look. I think just looks more appropriate, and I think it records better as well. High color just makes it look shinier and nicer. And Force VSync, which we're not going to do. Sound volume options, and lastly settings. There's a speedrun HUD, so if you are inclined to be the type that's a little bit more competitive, you might want to maybe engage in a little bit of that. Fast game launch, but with in-game loading screens. I'm not actually sure what that one does, and then ignore leaderboard errors, I guess if you're not online or something. So there is actually a leaderboard. So let us get started here in Volgarr The Viking. Like I said, super hardcore game. I am going to die many times in this, and I've got to let you know right up front, this is not exactly my first impressions. I've actually spent like a solid 45 minutes or so with this game, because if I didn't, it would just be kind of pathetic. You wouldn't want to watch me play it. So as you can see, we've got a few basic moves here. We've got our sword slash, which is all well and good, and then we've got a spear throw, which if we press up and attack, sort of like your daggers in Castlevania or something. And that's another game this harkens back to a little bit, is maybe some of that Castlevania vibe, but obviously Viking themed, which makes it much cooler in my opinion. Although Gothic theme is nice as well. So we've got, you know, the spears. We've got an attack. We can duck. We can double jump, which is kind of important because you actually do attack while you're in the air, and you can also down thrust, which is another important thing to know. So we have a few pieces of gear here, and I will demonstrate what it's like to lose that piece of gear and how the progression element works. It is a bit violent, by the way, so be aware. So I've lost my shield. I am now basically naked, and then if I take one more hit, that is death for me. Thankfully, there are infinite lives in this game, but you only get checkpoints very infrequently. So you got to be very careful about where you take your damage. So we've gotten our shield. It can absorb a blow every now and then, but I wouldn't count on it too much. More likely than not, it's just going to get right through your shield. So you want to just avoid taking all the hits you can if possible. And I will probably end up giving you a few little minor pro strats on this first area, and you know, you're probably going to need them, to be fair, because this game, like I said, is extremely hard. There is absolutely zero shame in being terrible at this, and honestly, it took me mostly all of that time to be able to get to the second checkpoint, like that I mentioned, that is like 45 minutes or so. So, you know, don't feel bad. See, I did something unexpected there. I lost my shield, and now the helmet is unlocked, but I can't actually, well, I can't get the most out of it because now I don't have the shield, so I still only have one more HP, technically, than I did a moment ago. So since I've already sort of botched this run, I'm just going to suicide and start that over, because I want to have all the HP I can get when I go for it. I'd love to have a perfect run on video. It would be really the best thing possible. I really love the old hardcore sprite art, the way things look, very, it's brutally violent, but it's necessarily so. I think this sort of reminds me of some of those Sega Genesis games that maybe we've all played from back in the day. You know, your Golden Axe and such. I think it's got a little bit of that vibe to it. And the fact that you can just cut right through these enemies, also Altered Beast, I think, jumps to mind a little bit, too. You can just cut through these enemies in one strike. They don't stand a chance, but that's because you're a freaking Viking, man. You're a barbarian. You don't care about them. They're just lizard men. So the blue guys, as you can see, they took 2 hits. We can throw spears at these bees. We can also use our spears. See, I made the same mistake there. I got to make sure I kill this guy before he gets me at the chest. I haven't even made any real progression yet. This is me just setting up this first run, and hopefully this won't be a trend that continues. By the way, you can charge up your spear if I haven't done this already, and that'll actually launch your enemies, which is kind of awesome to see. So you can actually clear through a big stack of them if they're all piled up and they only take 1 hit. It may actually cut through dudes that take more than 1 hit, but I'm not 100% on that. We are picking up occasional gems along the way, and it is a little silly that we've just gone through the same spot this many times, but like I said, it goes with the territory. This time I won't make that mistake again. We'll make sure we spear that guy before he gets over to us, and we'll make sure we're all good. There we go. Now we're free to grab the Viking helmet. And I should have probably just stayed ducking there, because they really can't seem to hit you when you're ducking. It's a kind of nice thing to know. You can also throw a whole pile of spears if you happen to double jump or just jump once and then throw spears at the same time. It's a nice thing to have ready in your arsenal. Another lizard man is going to pop up there and make sure we spear him as well. Alright, thankfully the shield absorbed that blow that time. And this below us here, there's actually a bottomless pit, so we don't want to end up in that. Viking Man, he's got some very specific movements that he's able to make and not make. And one of those things is when you jump, you can't like course correct once you've jumped off the ground unless you double jump, and then you're committed to going over there. And this plant monster is sort of like a mini boss. Not so hard though when you attack him from a distance. And I also don't want to pass up. There's actually another upgrade opportunity over here. Another thing I want to mention also, amazing soundtrack. I know you might not be able to hear it particularly well in my mix, but you'll definitely want to listen to it wherever you can, because it is really nice. I want to actually set up a couple of spears here so make sure I don't miss this jump. And then want to make sure we're a little below the top point here, otherwise we're going to hit our head on that wood knot thing. And then we'll just hop up here. Another thing that this really reminds me of a lot, and I wouldn't be surprised if this turned out to be an influence of the developers, is the action sequences from ActRaiser. And I know I actually just mentioned that game pretty recently in another video, but I think that very well captures the vibe and the feeling of the art and music to this game, which honestly, that's a huge compliment from me anyway, because I actually think ActRaiser's a phenomenal game, and the art direction of it I thought was excellent as well. And the music, too. I mean, for an SNES game, I thought it was outstanding. Alright, so now we've got a flaming sword as well as our Viking helm. This does, I think, something like double damage. And so we want to make sure we don't just lose this right away. So anything we pick up beyond this flaming sword will just, it'll show up as like a chalice or some sort of a big point boost. So we want to make sure we can hang on to this sucker as long as we can. So I'm going to throw a bunch of spears into the wall here. Let this guy, jump down if that's what he needs to do. We'll hit him with a spear, and then we'll just chop him. I probably could have just chopped him straight away, considering I have the flame sword. And then we've got a spider here, and the way I deal with this spider is I just keep throwing spears, and eventually it just jumps right in. So the game is very experiential. You will make a lot of mistakes, and as you're progressing, that is totally fine, because that's the way this game works. You don't want to necessarily play it as if you're going to beat it on your first try. You won't. You're just going to die a lot, and that's fine. I mean, this is one of those games that as you play it, you'll get a little better, you'll learn, you'll tweak your performance in various ways, you'll become more accustomed to how the enemies react, and to a certain degree, you kind of have to exploit the AI at times, but it's just as hardcore as those old games that used to be that way. So we're going to slide down this hill, and I know it's coming. That bee doesn't stand a chance. I'm going to jump at the last moment here. We're going to duck and hope that guy gets pushed away, and he did. If we stayed on that path down, we might have actually bumped into those spikes, which I'm not 100% sure if that's the case, but I'm not going to find out now. So, what's in this chest? A chalice, indeed. Alright, so now we've got another plant mini-boss down here. I don't know if mini-boss is the right word, but he's a tougher enemy than most. And the best way to deal with him, since we don't really have a down strike that's going to do anything meaningful, is we want to wait until he attacks, and then we're going to go stand Oh, I blew it. I was going to go stand exactly where he shoots from, and then jump at the last moment, and you should be good to go. Hit that spider with a spear on the way down, stand in the middle, and you should be fine. I'm most of the way to the next checkpoint, provided I don't mess things up too badly here, which of course you still could. All it takes is one bad jump or maybe a few mistakes, and all of a sudden things are not so hot anymore. So we're continuing to build our score here. This is obviously not a speed run. I haven't been doing fantastic as far as speed through this level. But I am trying to be careful as best as I can, and this guy's going to jump down off this ledge. I feel this is a little bit akin to, like, learning how to get through Sen's Fortress in Dark Souls each time you learn a new level in Volgar the Viking, and I kind of really like that. It's got a high-risk, high-reward feeling to it. You know, if you mess up, it's usually your fault, but, you know, there are a few little cheap moments as well, in my opinion, but, you know, every game's going to have those to one degree or another. Now, this one, this little encounter, I think, is best done by standing underneath one of these things and then hopefully doing a jump spin attack on your second jump if you can place yourself properly, which you can't always do. I could throw another spear down here. If you're too close to the wall, it won't actually do anything. So like no, not right there. Something like that. Get like 1 or 2 hits in each time, I should be okay. And just jump back down. The controls, you know, they get the job done, but they're a little bit sluggish at times. I mean, again, it feels very much tuned to that old school aesthetic. which is really, it feels familiar to me. It feels like we're playing a game on the Sega Genesis, and that's totally cool. It's just, it's something you have to be prepared for, and if you're not the type to enjoy that style of game, it might not be for everyone necessarily. See, that was a little bit of a clutch moment there. If you screw up that jump, things will not go well for you, because that is an instant death pit right there. So, alright, we've got another 2-hit guy, no problem. And this will be the end of the first checkpoint. So, that crystal signifies the fact that we've made it to the next level. There are in total, I believe, 6 regular levels, possibly 1 secret level. So the game, I'm not sure how long that's going to lend itself to be, because I've honestly never beaten anything after this checkpoint, like, much further than this. I've gotten to this point once before. But a lot of these traps are going to be new to me, so this is where I would start the process of learning and discovering all over again. And I'm not sure how to time this trap, actually. I would want to jump exactly when it's shot, right, and then that'll work out, hopefully. And we've got our flame sword back again. Trust me, when you go through this, it will not be as smooth as I'm making it look. This is going to be a learning process for you. Oh, that was miserable. I knew what to do there, I just forgot to throw a spear. And there's a little crack there you can actually toss a spear through, and then you gotta roll under here, jump up on it, and then whack that bee there with another spear. People, I think, when they start playing this are gonna grossly underuse their spear throwing ability. It's a big deal to be able to throw those spears. You want to be able to make sure you can hit as many things from as far as possible. And I'm not sure if this is a good idea what I'm doing here. There might be secrets also, which is another thing I want to look out for, but I don't know where they are. Alright, so how do I time this then? That's going to be the tricky thing. I think I want to go as soon as I start to see this shoot. And we should hopefully... There we go. Time it right through. This guy has a couple blind spots again. This is going to be right here. And I can't quite reach him, so I'm going to have to move in, get 1 or 2 hits, back off, wait. Move in, get another 1 or 2 hits, maybe 3. Yeah, we finished him off already. I got some sort of an opal or a pearl or something. Now this is going to be another mix on the same concept, considering now... Oh, geez, he landed on me. I didn't intend for that to happen. Alright, well, we got a chalice out of it, so I guess that's pretty cool. Once we start mixing up these encounters with adding extra enemies, and this might make this a little harder since he's below us. Can I... Oh, I can still hit him. Alright, so get 3 shots in. Wait. 3 more shots, and we're good. I love how Volgarr is just like, he starts just whacking away with that sword. Like, he just beats the junk out of whatever's in front of him. He does not care. He's like a freaking lawnmower. But, you know, Vikings, man, that's what they do. That's their job. I'd say the setting definitely feels reflective. Oh, we've got an arrow trap again. I feel like I'm channeling my Spelunky player a little bit when I'm going through these traps. And, again, feels very evocative of the ActRaiser moments, especially in, like, that first major boss area. Alright, 2 more shots. There's also maybe a little bit of, like, that heavy metal aesthetic, if you're familiar with that one. What's up with these spikes? They look a little more dangerous than... Oh, come on! Oh, that was unfortunate. I got a downward strike on it. Oh, no! He got me from down below. I didn't expect that. Ah, well, that's the thing about this type of game. It is super hardcore in that every time you lose, you're just going to have to play from that last checkpoint again. And you kind of have to respect it, you know, you're going to make a little progress sometimes, you're not going to do it every time. You know, you make a little bit more experiential learning on what to do about certain traps, and hopefully you keep at it, and you don't get too frustrated, and you'll eventually make it through a level, and I have still not finished this level yet. So I want to make sure I shoot the wall here if I can. Yep, okay, I think I've put down a spear. I want to jump and also do a spear throw at the same time. There we go. It's an awkward way that that's positioned, because you really want to be careful and make sure you get that spear out and not linger too long. This is also a little awkward too, like, oh, you just stand and throw. Oh my god, I was trying to do that from a jump every single time for some reason. Alright, and now we've got all this timing to worry about, so, you know, it's one thing to do it on skill, the other thing is timing. And, like, oh no, it was too early. A little bit longer, I should have waited. Soon as they're about to go, that's... we need to start. So this one, we should be good right here again. I'm sure after you've done this a number of times, you'll have, like, all of the spots you need to stand already mapped out. And then we'll get the 3-shot red guy here. Let's get him over onto some level ground. Wow, he is fast-moving. He jumped right over that gap. He does not care. Will he come back again? No, he is gone for good once he's gone. Let's stand right here, get another few shots, and I am totally... ready to go if I get hit with one more thing, so I have to be right on top of things. Alright, we've got another chest here. There we go. Another shield. Let's get him with spears so you don't have to fight him. And the shield, like I said earlier, it's like it can be helpful. You get an occasional shot where you don't get hurt, but it seems like most of the time, whatever it is just goes right through it. Alright, there we go. A little bit of being careful as we move up that rope, and now these guys are going to start jumping up all these platforms. Oh my gosh, they're everywhere. I don't know how to even encounter these guys properly because there's this chaos element, and they'll just keep on coming. Like, they don't care. They'll just keep on showing up from the floor. At least that's been the case in most of these levels, so I just have to out-platform them and try and race, and hope that my level of where I'm jumping from is going to be the right level to actually hit them. And that might be about as far as I'm going to make it in this episode. But I will give it one more try here before we call it quits for this episode. And this is a game that, like I said earlier, I really do enjoy. It may not be for everybody. You have to be able to handle a little bit of dejection and frustration from a little bit of repetition and a little bit of learning. But if you are prone to enjoy, getting better at something, like I said earlier, I referenced the Dark Souls Sen's Fortress situation. If that was a thing that you liked when you finished it, you will probably get a lot out of Volgarr the Viking. And I can't even imagine the challenges that are going to be ahead of me as I try to get into the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th levels. I mean, I haven't even fought like a real legit boss yet. I've fought a few of these flower guys, but they aren't even, the real deal. Oh man, I took a hit from that spore. I do not want to do that again. I love the fact that the Viking dude, like, he's got spears, he's got a sword, he's got a shield, he's got all the equipment you would expect a Viking to have. And that's all you really need. Like, you don't need him to have fireballs and crazy ice spells. Like, he's good to go like that, because he's a Viking. He makes the best out of the bad situation that he's been put in. And he will keep regenerating ad infinitum as long as there are crystals for him. And I believe some levels don't even have crystals. I believe you have some sort of a companion that will fly along with you as some sort of a checkpoint. I'm not sure exactly how that works. Like I said, I haven't made it that far. And I've taken a dumb hit from that arrow trap. Man, it does feel like Spelunky all over again, but I enjoy Spelunky a whole bunch, so that's not really an insult in any way. Alright, so let's time this out properly. As soon as that hits, we're good to go. But I think it's pretty much the whole package. Oh man, I backed away again. I gotta stand right in the right spot and I just can't seem to handle it. It's the whole package for people that have been waiting for another game like this to come along, and there really aren't a lot of people that are vying for this space anymore when it comes to indie games. I feel like the tendency seems to be a lot of the time to just cater to, making a game easier, more accessible. And this is unabashedly going in the other direction, and I feel like that vision needs to be rewarded occasionally, because there just isn't a lot to choose from if you're into this type of thing. So, yep, that is kind of my ringing endorsement, I would say. Volgarr the Viking, 2 thumbs up, with the caveat that maybe not for everybody, but it's for me, so take that as you will. Let's see if we can make it down this time. Alright, here we go. Cool, cool. Let's not stand in the wrong... Oh, I stood in the wrong tile again. Right there. I almost feel like if I was the one developing that, I might have put like a little cue, like a little visual cue you might not always pick up on. And look how the AI, like, it's designed to just smack you in the face every time it can. But I would have put some sort of a little, like, a decal on the ground to say, like, oh, stand here. Although, again, that is sort of making things a little easier than they need to be. So now I've peaked, I guess, on that first... run through this area, and I don't think I'm going to be able to make it back there again on camera, but don't let that dissuade you. I will make it there eventually, and I hope to spend a bunch of time playing this, and I'm probably going to stream this game a bunch of times, so I'd love to beat this thing. If only just to put it, as a pseudo-trophy on my gaming mantle of sorts, that I am capable of handling a platformer this hard. You feel like you've proved something after that. You feel like you've got another notch in your accomplishments, in a way that achievements might not always do it, although I believe achievements might be a thing as well. And as well as leaderboards and all of those other goodies. Speedrunning might be a thing eventually. If people get really facile at playing through this game, I could see that becoming a bit of an obsession. Trying to maximize your chances of getting through the game, not take any hits, of course. People have done it before, right? Super Ghouls and Ghosts, people have gotten through that entire game without taking a single hit at all. And that was just poor play there. I did not account for the red guy that was jumping around. I really should have maximized my chances by backing off a bit. So I will get the shield back, but I won't make it to the Viking helm, which is what I was hoping. I don't know why I need to keep jumping there. Alright, blue guy. Oh, let's not attack in the wrong direction then. And can we make it up this rope one more time? I'd like to see that happen. There we go. Rope vine, whatever you want to call it. Almost there, and we've made it up. Now, I'm not sure what to do here. I just got to keep jumping, I guess, and hope for the best. They're going to keep attacking me from below, and I got to time it somehow where I can sort of land in a way that they're not going to be slightly below me. Oh, I got a chalice out of that. Nice. Let's out-platform them. Can we do it? Oh, there's another freaking plant guy over here. Yep, I knew that was going to happen. I'm not sure if I need to go to the right or to the left. Either way, though... Oh, okay, it's to the left. So I do actually need to fight that plant guy, probably by throwing spears. And the fact that these guys won't end, they just keep coming, well, that's going to make things very difficult. If I could throw a spear in here, I could use one as cover. I could actually hide underneath it. Oh, did he not? I think he knocked the spear away. They don't know what to do about this middle section here. They're not really sure how to approach... Oh, maybe was it the spore that... I don't know. Anyway, I think I'm done for this episode. So if I haven't already made it perfectly clear, go check out Volgarr the Viking. I think it's pretty cool. We'll be coming out on Steam just a couple of days after this video goes up. There is also a pre-order. Link's going to be in the description if you want to go check this out. That way you'll get it right away. There's I believe you get a DRM free copy as well as a Steam key. So you might want to go ahead and directly support the developer. I think that is the cool thing to do in this case. As really is always the case. I think I just absorbed that spear, the arrow trap rather, with the shield, which is kind of a nice thing to do. I also like that the shield, like, it starts out as your special hammer shield, but then if you lose it, you get the regular wooden shield, which feels like, well, if you can hold on to the hammer shield, you're like a better Viking then, because it's your sweet special Viking shield. I don't know. It's like a little reward for saying, hey, I made it through without taking any hits down to my last hit. It's extremely addictive, too, because there's no real restart between runs, so as long as you just want to keep running at it, you're not really going to end the gameplay here. It's just going to start up, you're just going to keep moving instinctively forward, and hopefully just keep on playing until you win. That's how I approach it anyway. But yeah, that is going to do it for another episode, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate you watching, and if you'd like to leave any support for the show, that is always welcome. I'd love to hear what your comments are on this one. What do you think about games that are sort of hardcore in this subgenre of the action platformers that you don't really see too often anymore? You know, were you into these style games when they were more the mainstream 16-bit era, or, you know, were you not born yet? I mean, that's the case for many of you. In my case, though, I was around for them. So it might, again, be another generational thing, but... I am up for this style of gameplay, and I hope you guys are as well. So check out the game in the description. Check out my other links in the description if you'd like to see more from the series. Indie-impressions.com would be the place to go. I've got over 500 other indie games available for your perusal over there. They're all neatly categorized and sorted. Oh, I almost got that guy that time, too. What are you going to do about it, I guess? And look at my timer in the bottom, 18 minutes. Yeah, well, it's going to take a while, guys. But yeah, go check out the website, check out all my other stuff, check me out on Twitter if you'd like. Leave a like on the video if you think I deserve the support, and of course, leave a comment, let me know what you think of this game. I'd love to hear your opinions. So that is going to do it again, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you'll come back again tomorrow. New episodes of Indie Impressions are up every single day on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/RockLeeSmile, just in case you happen to be watching this anywhere but the YouTube channel. I like to leave that in there. And hopefully I will see you all tomorrow. Have a lovely night, guys. Later.